I've been good. Getting my cardio back slowly. Roll on that elbow, leg.
All right, guys, we are here with Stephanie Simon, 5-time national champion, 3-time national collegiate champ, 2023 Olympic Trials champion, and she is also in the Marine Corps Boxing Hall of Fame. Stephanie, first question, how did you even get to Matchroom Churchill? This is like one of the biggest gyms in the country. How'd you get here?
Thank you for the warm introduction. So I was living in Miami before I moved out here, and I came out in February of this year to check it out. I've heard really great things about Southern California boxing scene, as well as, Vegas and everything. So came out and did a sparring session, a couple of them. And one of the sparring sessions had about 5 or 6 females from all over the LA area. It was a great environment. It was good work. I got lefty work, tall people, shorter people, more experienced pros, and some that were experienced amateurs. So I saw a big variety in terms of the training opportunities, and kind of felt, this might be the best place for me to train. I also came to Matchroom Churchill in February just to check it out as well. And there are pros from all over the country that are here training, getting ready for, some people are getting ready for title shots, some people are getting ready for their debuts, some are 5-0, 10-0, kind of a spectrum of different experience levels as well. So I enjoyed the environment, the professionalism, the coaches were great, and so it kind of drew me and inspired me to move all the way out here.
You've had an opportunity to see some pros here that most people probably don't even get a chance to see at all. Name some people that you've kind of seen come in through here and you may have had a chance to maybe spar with or just get a chance to talk to.
For sure. So before Andy Ruiz's most recent fight, Andy was here training, doing his media day. I've seen Bam Bam here. I've seen Triple G here. We got pictures. Canelo Alvarez has been here many times. And I've sparred Cecilia Brækhus here. She's the first female undisputed world champion, incredible boxer, legendary, one of the women that has truly paved the way for women's boxing. So even today, I sparred earlier Erica Fadias, and she's a 2-division former world champion, incredible fighter. Truly the best work that you're gonna get in boxing is this area and this gym. I believe this gym is the best gym in LA.
So when did you decide to go pro?
So I decided to go pro in January of this year after my final Team USA selection camp for the Olympic team after winning the 2023 Olympic Trials. After the selection camp, kind of figuring out that none of the Olympic Trials champions were going to be selected for the Olympic team.
Yeah, what was that even about? What was the whole
I get asked
purpose
this.
Of the,
So just to put it in perspective, imagine on Instagram, on Facebook, or even in conversation with people, you tell someone you win the Olympic Trials, the first thing they say is, congratulations, are you excited for the Olympics? And then having to backtrack and explain, well, none of us that won the Olympic Trials are going to the Olympics. So due to our selection procedures with Team USA, the team for the Olympics was selected prior to the trials. And so really...
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's flesh that one out, right? So we have an entire tournament dedicated to, I guess, helping people get selected for the Olympics. The entire tournament was scrapped. Everybody that won didn't go. And you're saying that the team was already picked. What do you mean by that?
Well, first off, the first Olympic qualifying tournament was the Pan American Games, which took place in October 2023. That's the first red flag. There shouldn't be any qualifying tournaments for the Olympics that take place before the actual trials, because the Olympic trials should be the determining tournament of who makes the team that gets to go qualify for the Olympics. So that was the first problem. When that happened, there were 5 people from that team that went to the Pan Ams that qualified for the Olympics. At that point, those weight classes at the Olympic trials were basically null. So if you show up, you fight in it, yes, that's great. Congratulations, you won the Olympic trials. You're gonna go to camp and basically be the sparring partner for the person that qualified.
Oh,
now,
man.
you have the remaining weight classes, right? The 8 remaining weight classes that did not qualify. You would think to yourself, okay, those 8 are probably gonna go to the Olympic trials. No, those 8 did not go to the Olympic trials. There was only one that did, that was Sharon May. So she was the only person that actually went to the trials and made Team USA.
Wow.
Other than that, it was a situation where those remaining 7, they were put off to the side with those that qualified. I got my coach back here making faces, trying to distract me. Coach, you're too much. Coach Shadid right there. Boom, right there. So of the remaining 7 that won the trials, those people, thought that they had a chance, right? They thought, okay, if I win the trials, those weight classes that aren't qualified, I'll be able to get that spot. That didn't happen. So basically after selection camp, it was announced to all of us, sorry, those of you that won the trials, none of you made the team, except for one. Again, that was one person, 119. The rest of us were told, hey, you did great, you just didn't quite do enough to do better than the person that is already on the team.
Yeah, so weirdly enough, like most of the people that are that were ranked number 1 or some of those people that got picked up for the Olympics, you don't even really see them at like national tournaments or see them competing at all. So how do they kind of get away with that?
So I'm not even gonna say his name. You can look it up. There's somebody who's a smaller person who has never even won a U.S. Nationals that has been on Team USA as a number 1 for 3 years. We've gotten to the point now where Team USA hand selects the ones that they want to go to the Olympics about 3 years before the Olympics.
Oh, wow.
So there are pretty much the majority of the team that was selected to go to the Olympics and that went had not won in their weight class at the national level 2-3 years. Like it had been 2 or 3 years since they even fought in the U.S. Nationals. I swear to you, you can look it up.
So what is USA Boxing doing? Are they kind of hiding the person so it's harder to find footage on them? What's the intention?
Their argument is these people that we select, they're too busy going overseas and abroad and competing against
very busy.
All these other countries, all these big tournaments. They're too busy to be competing at some little national tournament. But that, to me, is a way to cover up the true problem, which is what if those people that they're picking get beat at the nationals? Now all that money that they've invested, all the time, all the energy and effort they've invested into these chosen ones is wasted because someone beat them. And I'll give you an example. We have a 2021 world champion. You already know who I'm talking about. Just because you were a 2021 world champion does not mean you're gonna be the best fighter at that weight in 2024. There's ebbs and flows. This is a combat sport. All sports, right? You might be the best person that day. It does not mean you can be the best person tomorrow. That's why you have to constantly make sure that every year, everybody, even the top dog, is competing at the national level, improving themselves at the national level before you send them out to go compete internationally. In a great sport that does this, wrestling. Wrestling just had 2 women win gold, a woman win bronze, and another woman win silver. We didn't have a single female even medal in boxing. But if you look at wrestling, they make their people go to nationals every year. They make sure that those that go to the Olympic trials, it doesn't matter who you are, what your name is, you have to win the Olympic trials 2 matches out of 3 in order to be on the Olympic team. That's how wrestling does it, and it's brought them great success.
If you had to identify the major problem, where all this is coming from, what would you say is the reason?
I believe the reason is nepotism, and then this idea that the European-style, Olympic-style boxing has to be taught and basically bred into these fighters in order to be successful. There's this idea that jab, lean back, 1, 2, lean back, 2, 3, 2, lean back, side step, jab, jab, 2, lean back. This weird, it's not a weird style, it's a very common style because this was the style that was taught in a lot of countries, the European style, in order to score points and get out of the way. This style, I understand why it was implemented back when we had the point system, because back in the day, we had the point systems where the judges had to all click on their little clickers, boop. In order for someone to score a point, all the judges had to agree that a point was scored by that fighter. That scoring system makes sense why you would want to be in and out. boom, in and out, 2 in and out, right? You want to make it like a game of tag. It makes sense because the easier you can make it for the judges to see that you scored a point, the higher chance you have of winning a fight. I understand that. We no longer have that scoring system in the amateurs. It's the regular pro style, 10-9, 10-8, 10-7. It's the regular pro style judging of rounds. So we need to go back to the regular American style boxing where people implemented their style. People fought the way that they fought in their gyms back home and fought the way that got them to that national title instead of stripping them of everything that they ever learned growing up. That's the biggest issue with USA Boxing. Now we have a bunch of athletes that come from different parts of the country with different styles that are all learning the same thing. And how do I know? I was on Team USA for 3 years and I was taught everything. And I was there for 3 years seeing literally the exact criteria that was taught in terms of how to box, what the right way of boxing looks like. There was no adjustment to each fighter based off of their style. I saw it with my own eyes. I saw people start off with a lot of style, with a lot of freaking, like charisma and excitement in the way they fought, and over a year span, get doled out to this very European style, boring, check hooks, in and out, almost like they got stripped away of who they were. And I've watched it, and a lot of you have watched it. If you watched the Olympics, you probably noticed, wow, a lot of those fighters that were doing great 2-3 years ago, they don't even look at them like themselves anymore. Well, that's because of this style of teaching that has taken over USA Boxing.
That is insane. All right, but switching gears back to you though, you have your pro debut coming up.
Yes.
Coming up pretty soon. Tell us about that and just kind of what you've been working on that you want to kind of show off whenever you actually, real time get in the ring again.
For sure. So my pro debut is going to be in Atlanta, September 27th. It's going to be in the undercard of the Alicia Baumgartner title fight, the WBC 130-pound title fight, and it's going to be exciting. There's a lot of us that are debuting on that card. Isabel Vasquez and Yvonne Flores are two of my good friends that are also going to have their debut. A lot of people that have had a lot of success in the amateurs. A lot of them have gone into TCL as well, which is the Team Combat League I'm sure you're familiar with, and have kind of shown their skill and abilities. I didn't do TCL, but I've been around a lot of people that have, and a lot of those fighters are incredible. So, I don't want to give you guys too much because some of it's going to be a surprise, but the venue is something very unique. It's not your stereotypical arena. It's going to be I'm not going to tell you, but just stay tuned because it's going to be very, very cool. Just give you a hint, 3D sphere. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, well, maybe just one last thing, right? What are you hoping to really accomplish from this fight? I mean, it's your first fight, pro debut. You're trying to make a name for yourself very quickly in the amateur, in the pro boxing space. Like, give me what's the goal? What's the dream that you just want to sell to the audience? For sure.
First and foremost, I want to entertain people in and out of the ring. So I have a very special walkout song. Those of you that know me know that I play 5 instruments, I sing, I dance, I do Michael Jackson impersonations, I do a lot of accents, I got a lot of wigs. I'm incorporating the personality into my pro career, which is not very easy to do in the amateurs. You got red, blue, everyone looks like little clones. Well, in the pros, I feel the most beautiful thing about it is you can actually bring out more of your personality. So that's my goal, first and foremost. Bring out the personality outside of the ring with the walkout, with the choice of attire, as well as my personality in the ring. I have very good footwork. I have happy feet. I've been dancing, moving since I was a kid, and I think right now I'm starting to figure out how to actually do that in the ring.
Gotcha.
And so that's my goal, is to implement the good footwork with the power. I've always been a good hard hitter. Put those two together and make it a spectacle.
Okay. All right. Well, I am, for one, ready to see how you perform. I saw you in Louisiana. Very good competitor. And I'm sure you're about to make a name for yourself at your weight class. One last thing before you go. Tell everybody what your weight class is and what you can bring to the table at that weight class.
So I'm going to start off at 140, potentially go to 135. I fought at anywhere between 165 all the way down to 146 in the amateurs. So taking it down to 140, seeing how things feel. And at 135, there's a lot of big names there, a lot of good competition. Amanda Serrano's fought at 135, Katie Taylor's fought at 135. So I feel that if I can get to that weight, there could be some potential, like, very cool fights at that weight class. For now, though, 140 is where I'm going to start.
All right, Stephanie Simon, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.